Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and tonight is Open Lines Night, an extended World Wide Web of Weird. I did have a guest planned. They had to reschedule. We haven't rescheduled them, but they had to cancel. And it screwed up my plans a little bit because I planned on having a guest this Sunday and then next Sunday doing open lines instead. Because in the following, because I didn't have a guest booked for next Sunday. The following 2 weeks from now, August 31st, I won't have a show because I'm going on our Labor Day family camping trip. Everybody, even Kiki the dog, is coming. No show then. So I don't want to not do a show next Sunday, but I'm not really sure what to do. We'll talk about it tonight. It's open lines from the chat room, or if you call in and just want to talk, you make the show, and maybe you can make next week's show. Give me some ideas what you want to do next week. You know, we've done some other different things besides open lines. You know, I haven't really been too much into the ITC spirit boxing as much, except for having Tony Rothman on. I think is pretty cool to do. So I don't know if we'll do that, but maybe psychic games. I don't know. You guys think of some stuff tonight. We'll discuss amongst ourselves. And of course, we didn't have a show last Sunday. I'm so sorry. I was getting over sinus sickness and had no guests scheduled. I do have guests. Scheduled. I promise. It's not been easy. I've been trying to be picky and trying to reach out to some bigger guests that I know are probably way beyond my show's bridges. But I'm trying. I just want to have interesting conversations, you know. That's just what I'm searching for. And maybe I can have them with you tonight. That's what it's about. You call in. We will open up the phone lines after the first commercial break, so just hang in there if you do want to join. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. You want to talk about the alien Atlas, whatever ship coming? You think it's going to destroy the planet? I don't know. You just call in. You talk about whatever. But we got a lot to get to, so let's go ahead and roll into the show. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. As I said before, I'm your host, Jason Bland. No guests tonight. As I said, they had to cancel, sadly. I don't think we're going to have Rob tonight. I did send him the little Dropbox thing if he wanted to join us tonight to help, but I get it. He's still, late nights are probably not a great idea for him. You know, he's still recovering, and we want to make sure he gets better. And you guys had like a Weird Wednesday. I had to be up early, so I didn't get to see it, but like kind of a impromptu Weird Wednesday, like with Rob and that. I got, you know, to get to check some of that out. But you guys think you might be back next week for Weird Wednesday?
It just depends.
Just depends on how it goes. We'll see. Rob's getting there. He's on the mend, you know, but we don't want him staying up too late. He's got to get his sleep. This is my last Sunday where I don't have to be up early on Monday. Because the kids go back to school on Tuesdays, their first day back. So I'm back to after Sunday night shows, having to get up after six hours after the show usually ends or so. So yeah. I was like, I'm doing a show, even if my guest canceled. I'm finding a way somehow. And like I said, you guys got to make the show. with us tonight, with me and Jamie. Share, tell your friends. You want to just hang out, talk about paranormal weird news, what's going on in the world. This is the show for it tonight. Just come discuss. Have you got your coffee ready? Got your coffee? I got mine. Not my favorite one, though. Yeah, not my favorite one.
What's your favorite?
Oh, San Francisco Bay. Grind my own beans. And it's been out. It's killing me. It's probably some tariffs thing. I don't know. But hey, people like Iriziriana, too, just a shameless plug for the World Wide Web, who are channel members and a Patreon member. Thank you, Iriziriana. Get their comments showed right away. We always prioritize channel members and patrons and that to get their comments up here. I don't know. And, let me know. I don't know if I want to do it tonight. Maybe next Sunday we do, anybody wanted to join us on video call. I haven't done that in a long time, and it's not for everyone. But maybe we do something like that. A little, come join us. It could get chaotic. It could be fun. I don't know.
That could be fun. We've done that on Weird Wednesday where we've had Zach and people just, kind of come on and kick it with us. And
just come hang out. That might be all I got for us next Sunday. That might be all I got for you guys next Sunday. I don't know. It's a busy week for me. Kids are going back to school. I'm ending my back to school retail sales job. I'm not ending. It's just we're ramping down, and things have been really busy and hectic. And I did not get to do anything I wanted to do hardly this summer for my channel members. I apologize. It's been a chaotic summer. That's all I can say. I'm gonna say, but we got a lot of weird to get to tonight, and it is an extended worldwide web of weird too. So we'll continue it on as we take phone calls later in the show. But let's go ahead and roll into the World Wide Web of Weird. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, I thought I'd start off with a nationwide UFO that was seen. I had listener Heather Wood, love you, send me that she had seen it in Iowa. I had my boss in Michigan City here send me a Facebook link from somebody he knew who saw it and got a picture of it in Michigan City. We got video of it in Connecticut. I have not been able to find anything yet to say what this is yet. And I'm sure there's some explanation, like it's a satellite or something that was out of control. I know we'll get some explanation. I'll always update you. But it's the start of the World Wide Web of Weird, mainly because somebody saw it here in my own town. For those listening on the Paranormal Soup radio network, we are a webcast streaming out live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. But if you want to come watch, or if you don't want to, if you want to come watch, I do have some videos and pictures. If you're listening on Talkstream live, but I'll narrate as best as possible, right? Yeah, as I always say every Sunday night, and I butcher all these names and towns and places. It wouldn't matter if you watch or listen; I'll just butcher it. You just cringe as I do. All right, let's go. Let's see. Let's just start with the video file. I think this is the video that somebody got of it. So yeah, here we go. Turn that on. And this one was in Connecticut.
there was a launch. It starts with an F. It's not Falcon.
I knew there was a Falcon launch, and that's what I wondered. But it was, yeah. And this was seen across. But somebody told me it didn't line up. It was somebody else. Who was it?
I have the date, the time, the location, and everything. But some of these states are seeing it pretty far out from where that was, and I'm not sure about the time frame. But there was another one like the spiral where they saw it way further than you would think that, from
well, this is the one. This is another one here, another place. I think this one. This is one Heather Wood shared and tagged us in. And like she said, she saw it in Iowa. Where was that? And so, I can't read where that's at. Sky's over southeast South Dakota. So South Dakota. So Iowa, South Dakota, Connecticut, Indiana. Ziriana saw that. So there's more. A lot of people saw this, and I don't know. Did it line up with the Falcon launch?
It's not Falcon. It starts with the V, and it's like a special one. I can't remember. It was like some spy satellites or something that were going.
Well, that's why I
up.
wondered if it was a satellite or something. Not a very good spy one, if it is. Just saying, everybody saw your spy satellite. Everybody saw it. It's not a very good one if everybody saw it. This is the one in Michigan City. So, yeah, my figure of this is it's probably a satellite or something. I didn't have a lot of time to research it. But I thought it was cool. Somebody got a picture of it in Michigan City. This is the one in Michigan City.
Someone in the comments has the name I remember because I double checked it. I just have to find the comments. I'm getting there.
Summer side of life. We don't get UFOs in Western Canada. They can't afford the carbon taxes for flying here. All right, let's move on. Well, they'll come to Michigan City. Well, they don't have to have wheels. In Michigan City, they're trying to pass some stupid wheel tax because they spent too much damn money.
The Vulcan rocket. Yeah, the Vulcan rocket. And then,
Vulcan, that's what it was.
The date. Oh, wait. Someone right here is going to have. Wait, let me just Google when the Vulcan rocket went up. When was the Vulcan rocket launch? August 12th, 2/25 at 8:56 p.m. EDT.
Yeah,
so that's
Ziriana's in Connecticut too. That's where the video was as well.
It took place at Cape Canaveral.
Someone said that they launched a rocket in South Africa. I don't think you'd know if you. I don't know, but in Cape Canaveral might make sense that you might see it.
So if the time and date matches up, because there's thousands of these pictures and videos.
It was all over the country.
Yeah. People saying their dogs were barking at it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird looking, that's for sure.
But it still has that kind of look of the spiral vapor sideways to me.
Yeah. All right, next up, as we talk about that and, approaching doom of a alien invasion or something like that. Congressman says U.S. government be hiding this secret that there are. I don't know why. Wait, is that the right one? Yeah, it is. Just okay. This was the original article. I should have put the unexplained mystery. Capitol Hill rumors suggest 4 alien species are piloting UAPs. That's the title that unexplained mysteries spelled on it. But the congressman says U.S. government might be hiding this secret. This congressman. Who is this? Which congressman is it? Well, let me read the article because I've seen this congressman called Eric Burlson. That's who it is. He's like, I didn't misquote it a lot. It's not that I believe in any of this or blah blah blah. It's like, shut up. He's getting really paranoid that people are misquoting him and stuff like that. But you're the one talking about it. But at least he's talking about it, right? So here's the article. This peculiar line began back in May when during a briefing about UAPs, physicist Dr. Eric Davis, who has reportedly worked on classified projects for the Pentagon, reportedly he has, brought up the notion that extraterrestrial entities come in 4 types: Greys, Nordics, Insectoids, and Reptilians. Now, he did not do this under oath, just so you know. These creatures, he argued, were potentially piloting UAPs being seen in the skies over the U.S. These same 4 species were brought up again last week by Missouri Representative Eric Burlson, a member of the House Oversight Committee, during the Endless Void with Kristen Fisher podcast. I've heard of those 4 classifications discussed meetings in the office by others, he said, but what I wasn't expecting was it for him to say it. I was expecting Eric Davis, respected scientist, to say that. I wasn't expecting it. If it's true, this would be a paradigm shifting moment, but if it's true, the government has no right to keep such a secret from the public it serves. The idea that there are multiple different species of aliens visiting is not actually a new one. 4 types listed, and others have been referenced multiple times over the last few decades. Remember, Paul Hellyer said there was like 72 or whatever. Was former defense minister of Canada. And, but a lot of times, I wonder, they're just repeating what they see on the internet, or no. He's a physicist, he's smart, but, I don't know. But if I understood the conversation right, that this physicist is saying that he was given this information from the government working on secret projects, that there are 4 alien species. But, these are the ones everybody's talked about for years. I think there could be, when they say 72 species, maybe they're all subspecies. There's different versions of them, I don't know. Or there's nothing. It's all boogeymen, and it's all our imagination. There's no such thing as aliens. It's Project Bluebeam. I don't know.
I'm open to any of it.
Me too. I really am. I mean, I'm up for all the possibilities. There's no such thing. They're all demons. Project Bluebeam. Interdimensional. From
The fact is, we
Zeta
thought
Reticuli.
about every evil.
Anunnaki. I'm a big believer in the ancient aliens thing too. But I mean, it could all be wrong. It could be all wrong. I have no idea. All right, let's move on.
They're theories. Nothing wrong. It just means
Best way to approach this topic is what the hell do I know? Right?
Well,
All right, moving on. Moving on to the east side. I don't know. Getting weird here tonight. All right, this next one, okay, cringe moment. All right, Jamie, turn her away.
no.
Just do it now. Just turn her away. Don't look.
Can we mute it?
Don't look. The Frankenstein rabbits with I wasn't gonna say testicles, tentacles, faces spreading across the U.S. You knew I had to cover it. I'm sorry. It creeps me out too. Trust me, I'm right there with you. Looking like strays out of a HBO Funkus horror show, The Last of Us, these mutated bunnies have been spotted in Fort Collins, Colorado. Rabbits have long called the town home, often seen hopping from garden to garden searching for food. But locals resident Susan Mainsfield said she recently saw one with black gills or black toothpicks sticking out all around it. She told local TV station KOSA, I thought he would die off during the winter, but he didn't. He came back a second year, and it grew. Sightings of the zombie bunnies date back to last year when a Reddit user shared photographs of the rabbit in her garden covered in horns. There's more pictures. I didn't bring them. I didn't show them. Is this a growth or what's going on? I feel bad for her, but he seems fine, the user said. Now, state wildlife officials are urging anyone who sees these infected to stay well away and to not touch them. The bunnies are infected with a virus which cannot be transmitted to humans called cotton rabbit papilloma virus.
It's like an animal papillomas from like mosquitoes or ticks. It goes back to like actually the 30s, and they have like photos of it, like jackrabbits with they call it the horned rabbit. Because I was doing some research on it. The thing is, things like the Ivictor, Megactor, whatever the heck, like that stuff can cure it. It's not supposed to transfer to humans, but they still don't want you around it. But those spikes now going around their mouth is actually causing them to starve to death. So it's like really sad.
Yeah, so they know what it is. The wildlife department, are they going to do anything to help them? Probably.
Nah, they're just going to let them die.
Yeah, they'll let them die off, and then you lose a whole species of rabbits.
But the thing is, like, when they're messing with all these mosquitoes and things, and I know that, these are things
we were just talking about it before the show, yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird, like, that all of a sudden, in the midst of
we need laws for that. That's a whole conversation tonight. That's a whole conversation tonight. Our air we breathe and the bugs that could sting us and inject us should be not touched. Our air should be clean. Our air should be clean, and nobody, of course, you're putting your cars and pollutants, all that stuff. But I mean, nobody should be spraying anything that isn't, that we're going to inhale. That they should be spraying chemtrails, and nobody should be making genetic mosquitoes or bugs that can, let's just not do it. Let's have a law that says they can't do it.
When they screw up the Microsoft updates, they should stick to that. When they want to depopulate the Earth, you don't put them in charge of like human medical things. It's just weird. You don't like.
I'm just saying you have a consent.
Yeah.
Like if somebody wants to go get the latest whatever and get it injected or do whatever, go do it. Be my guest.
They have a loophole called something consent that if you know about it, but you don't do anything about it, like you just turn a head, it's called a something consent, like an indirect consent or something. So supposedly by us not really doing anything, we're actually consenting to these things.
I consent to nothing. All right, moving on. What do we got next? Oh, more doom. Hop blob. Moving towards New York is the next one. Right? Yeah, I think so. Huge hot blob is moving towards New York City, study finds. According to research, anomalous blob, a vast searing hot mass over 220 miles across, is currently situated beneath the Appalachian Mountains and has been quietly moving southwestward, putting it on a course towards the path beneath New York City. Residents needn't fear, however, because it is moving at a glacial pace of 12 miles per million years, meaning that it will take about 10 to 15 years to actually get there. But you notice how many of these articles like this, like, don't look at the Epstein files, disaster, alien, doom, pop blob under New York. Yeah, the cat agrees with me. Tired of it.
Wow, dude.
But you know what what I find interesting about this, why I brought this article up, is there's been so much like stuff about Yellowstone and all the other earthquakes, like so many earthquakes and volcanoes. Like if everybody's, I think, instincts is saying that something's off, something's changing or whatever. But it's like they're also throwing doomsday stuff like this, these articles like this at us all the time.
Yeah,
to keep us distracted from something. I don't know what.
It's fear mongering, and now they have us looking up at the sky and not at our phones. If you've noticed,
right? Yeah. Oh no! What did I see today? I saw an article from Vice. From Vice, the lovely journalist.
Oh yeah.
It said that doing your own research is harmful.
Oh,
basically,
of course it is.
Makes you less intelligent to do. You
got to do what people
trust us. Advice.
Yeah. Wonder how much they got paid to put that one out.
Yeah, that was the literal title of their, I think, of their article, something along those lines of like, you're doing yourself harm by doing your own research. Let us just listen to us.
So listen
advice.
To your own instincts or common sense.
All right, this next one here, we're getting some science. Weird science. I used to play that before, music would get in trouble. Yeah. I missed that. Weird science. That's going to be stuck in my head all night.
It, though.
Let's see. There we go. Would you use a robot surrogate? China develops the world's first pregnancy humanoid that's capable of giving birth to a live baby. Now, it really doesn't. It did not develop it. I love how they titled this at the Daily Mail. It's a scientist talking about that they are in development. They're trying to develop this as an idea and concept.
But they
are trying to.
The pods, they already do.
Oh, yeah, that we talked about years ago on the World Wide Web of Weird. But this is going to be a robot now.
Yes.
That'll walk around with the pod.
Yeah, fetishes videos that they put out where they're nursing these babies that they're supposed. One robot was like, having labor. Like, how does that have pain?
Robots giving babies, man. Having babies. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Like the
cats,
incubators.
raining cats and dogs. I don't know. No, what the whole incubation without a human is going to lead to the Clone Wars of Star Wars.
Exactly.
Because what's China? China is heavily invested. I've covered this on the World Wide Web before. Mm-hmm. They've heavily invested in creating super soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just grow themselves. They can't just make a regular human and make them a super soldier. No, they need to grow them from the start to make them super soldiers. And that's what the Clone Wars are in Star Wars. Yes, I'm a geek. Star Wars.
And you've seen the labs of the way that these incubators are set up. At first it was, it's like for babies that are born premature, blah, blah, blah. You just don't have to have a woman now or a surrogate. Somebody even said that, well, it's nice for people who really want to have a baby but can't get a surrogate. It's like, well, now you're taking things a little too far. It's like one of those things.
Well, this is the thing. This is the thing. It's like with Elon's brain chip thing. That could really help people. It could. Yeah. It could really help people. This could really help parents that are going to struggle. Like a woman couldn't carry the baby. There's good things for scientists and from these things, and there's bad things. Just like you have a gun, it doesn't kill people. Whoever picks up the gun and points it at somebody is the killer. Yeah, and that's how these things give you. This is I used to be called the mad scientist in grade school because I was all into all the and I want to see technology. I want to see further advancements, but we got to be aware. That's why I love science fiction. It brings these things to the forefront. These ideas of the dangers and implications on society. Every new piece of technology that changes that changes our way of life is changing society for good or bad. and we just need to be aware, and we need to understand and adjust and figure out what we shouldn't do, and don't do it just because we can.
Regulations, if possible.
Yeah. I wasn't going to read the whole article. It's long. But I wanted to just cover this, as part of science that's going on out there that, like I said, it could be incredible, but at the same time, I can see bad things coming up from all this.
Soldiers. That was my actual first.
If you can grow your own super soldiers, this is the way they're going to do it. Their moms will be robots, and they'll have no problem killing you.
You've got to have seen these videos. These fetish robot. It's always an older Asian man with these young subservient female robots that will do anything that you tell them to, and then they open their plate.
Oh, that day is that day is already passed. There's already companies making dolls and doing that.
Yeah,
so I
but
don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it.
It's all over but now they've added the baby element to where they open up the plate up here, and this like invisible the visible Wi-Fi that goes down to the baby's. It's on here on reels to the baby is now feeding off this robot, and it's like a real chunky baby, a human baby, and it's like nursing off this robot. It's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's coming. All right, next up.
We gotta go
to commercial. We gotta go to commercial break. So maybe I do we make it through to the 6th or 7th one. I guess we're gonna go to commercial break. Actually, I ran out of time to get to the 6th, 7th. We got lots of weird articles, but when we come back, we will open up the phone lines for you guys to join our conversation tonight, because it is open lines. So we might not get all these articles, and then I'll just move them on over to next Sunday because I don't have a guest, and we'll have Weird Wednesday, World Wide Web of Weird next Sunday. So, call in, join the conversation, direct the show tonight, and maybe, like I said, help us find ideas for next week's show, because I don't have a guest. If you do have guest ideas, though, you can email me at paranormalsoupjbland@gmail.com. Find that in the links to the show description, and make sure you have their contact info to contact them. I'd love to have any suggestions. Let me know who you want to see on the show. But we're going to go to commercial break. We'll be right back.
Necromancy. You were brought here for one purpose. Necromancy.
A ceremony dating back to the pre-Christian era. It's the art of reviving the dead. It requires involvement with evil spirits by the person performing the act.
The devil god brings life to the dead.
No, please. No, please.
And death to the living. Necromancy, starring Orson Welles and Pamela Franklin. From Cinerama releasing. In color, rated PG, parental guidance suggested.
If you are interested in discovering the truth about the paranormal and want to hear from leading researchers in the field, join Justin Brown on his 3 weekly shows named My Paranormal Soapbox, Necromancer Live Show, and the Supernatural Symposium, live on Facebook, YouTube, and InterfaceDeath.net.
He is conducting an experiment into the combined effects of sensory deprivation and hallucinatory drugs. The subject of the experiment is himself, and the experiment is out of control. Ken Russell's Altered States, a film that must not be missed, is in the West End now. Altered States, Certificate X.
Hello, I am Fernando Martinez. I think by now you know I am an emotional kind of guy. People stop me in the street and say, Fernando, what the hell is wrong with me? Silk shirt, hairy chest, enough aftershave to drown a household pet, but I still cannot get a woman, I tell them you are an ignorant fool. Without a symbol of power and fertility around your neck, what kind of woman is going to respect you? That is why I have teamed up with Medallion Man, the shop for medallion needs. Medallion Man caters to all levels of masculinity. For the strong, silent type, a medallion the size of a hubcap will say everything that needs to be said. Even singing medallions for the Casanova, who knows music is the food of love. Model trains, dollhouses, diapers, whatever your interest, we've got a medallion for you. Don't forget, every woman knows if you can't support a medallion, you can't support a family.
This is the sound of a space clock aboard a U.S. satellite 180 miles above the Earth. No one winds up this timepiece. It's powered by a tiny battery, a battery that delivers power for years without replacement. Now the same type of battery, the Duracell battery, can bring new reliability and long life to your battery-operated equipment. Radios, cameras, toys, all run far longer. Duracell batteries, the long-distance power cells, outlast any ordinary battery. The same type of battery that keeps space clocks running for years can bring long life to anything powered by batteries. Dura, as in durable. Cell, as in power cell. The Duracell battery, made by Mallory.
Switch to DCS ranging.
240, nominal to profile.
We're in the pipe. 5 by 5.
Tonight on Paranormal Soup, it is Open Lines Night and Extended World Wide Web of Weird. You make the show, you call in, you join the discussion. What do you want to talk about tonight? You want to talk about the approaching Atlas alien ship going to destroy us all? The supposed peace talks where we flew a bomber over Putin's head? That was great. You know, lots going on in the world. Rabbits with tentacles growing out of their face. Robots having babies. Lots to discuss. Let me get the phone lines open for you guys listening on the Talkstream Live Paranormal Radio app. I will get those phone numbers to you here in just a second to call in, but the lines are open. Let's get back to the show. All right, lines are open. Let me get the numbers going here. Let me see the banner. Call in at 219-230-4444, 260-225-9419. And Skype ID jblandoo or jblandparanormalsoup. Those are the ways to call in. You can find the link in those same numbers in the description of the show if you're on Facebook or YouTube. I don't know what Twitch does. Call in, join the discussion. We'll continue to talk about the weird news. More science stuff here. Let's see. There we go. The key to centurion long life may be their superhuman ability to avoid disease. New research, or from Unexplained Mysteries as a shorter article, scientists may have found the key to living beyond the age of 100. My great-grandmother lived to 102, I believe it was. I don't think I'm going to make that long. I don't know, but, you know, they say humans are living longer. I sure don't feel like it when people are dropping dead at 45 from some weird, strange heart attack. I don't know, but humans may be living longer on average these days. Maybe. But even so, only a fraction of us will live to see our 100th birthday, yet the reasons why only select a few will become centurions still remain a mystery to scientists. But the latest work published by myself, this is from the people who wrote the paper, and my colleagues has just uncovered one factor may be key to the long-lived centurion experience. My researcher team has found out that people who live to 100 seem to possess a super ability to avoid disease. It almost seems like common sense, but I mean, it is the research and the data they're finding. So most people are living to 100 didn't get sick very often or get diseases. I mean, that seems like, I don't know. Go figure. But, you know, they got to do the data. They got to figure to make sure that is what it is. I mean, maybe somebody lives to 100 more often if they've had a ton of diseases, but I guess not. It's a longer article than that, but That's the thing. That they're going to find ways through. I mean, I hate to say it, they're doing gene therapy. They're messing with us all kinds of ways. I think the rich are going to live longer. Maybe. But I don't think the poor are. I don't think there isn't going to be no middle class. I don't think you're going to live longer.
You've seen the 1,000-year clocks that other guy that won't be mentioned is making in that mountain.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, they say the lifespans are going to increase, you know, that
fly down from Mars and get to check out each room every 1,000 years.
I know. They just, I would think with the technology and stuff we're talking, you got all this transhumanism. Yeah, humans should start living longer, but then at the same time, where our foods are toxic, our air is toxic, they're making genetic mosquitoes that can kill us. Probably, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like there's so many other things there, factors that are just like making our lifespan shorter. Probably.
Yeah, you for us, and all the rich ones are going up to Mars with all of our DNA from like 23andMe and being made in a robot.
Bunkers in Utah or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Buying private islands and, you know, eating the good stuff and, you know.
I think they're
they want to put
space.
Plastic coating on our fruits and vegetables and genetically modify everything. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know, like, yeah, I think humans definitely could live longer, and I think the science could help do that. But I think there's a lot of greedy, corrupt bastards in our food and medical industry that are not going to let that happen, and I think we're seeing major issues. But anyways, moving on. But at the same time, when I say, you know, the rich will live longer, you know, the rich are looking for immortality. You hear about it. You hear it all the time. So this next article. Where is it? Here we go. Dyson sphere could bring humans back from the dead, researcher says. Now, this researcher, I'm not going to even read all this, like goes into this huge, like, we need to build, if you know what a Dyson sphere is, it's building basically like bigger than the Death Star, okay, which is like, it's not a moon. This thing would be going around a star, a sphere around a star, and you need all that energy to create, this guy goes way out of his limit here to basically create a copy. That's the other thing. So, you know, watching some sci-fi shows with my son. What was it? And in it, I'm like, oh, what were we watching? Oh, Alien Earth. Alien Earth, okay? So in that show, in the whole Alien franchise, Ridley Scott and James Cameron and all that stuff, you have these synthetics. Kind of also cuts from Blade Runner. Sorry, I'm going to sci-fi geek out here for a second, but to make a point. So you have synthetics, you know, they're created, they're not human, they're, you know, your androids, robots, whatever, but they're a little more deeper than that. And it's using genetics, of course. But now in this show, they find a way to transfer the human consciousness over to this synthetic. They have this girl's dying of cancer, she's young, they put her into an adult robotic body, but it's not a robot, it's a synthetic or whatever, but it's not human. And the discussion I had with my sons is I just don't think that's possible. I don't think that's possible. Do they suddenly have the understanding? Because I believe in a human soul. I believe it's something that's untangible for them to transfer. And that's what you see. You see these talks about virtual, you know, like people living on after they die. Like there's Upload, which is a great show. I love that show. And that's under the principle, and they really don't say, but are they transferring somebody's actual consciousness, or is it just a copy AI recreation of somebody? Because that's what it is. I mean, is that really immortality? This guy goes way great lengths to make this happen. He goes sci-fi brain out on this, but
like if you're downloading their memories and you're downloading their consciousness and all that and putting into a direct thing, like are you making like actually like relocating that soul or that?
No, you're making a copy.
You're making a copy because there's the soul, the energy force, that center is
the consciousness.
Yeah. The light in the eyes, like the soul that you see.
That's the thing. That's science trying to say we can control heaven and earth and the soul, right? You know? I mean, there's also, I see all the time the saying that like the Greys, the aliens or whatever, and we've talked about it a billion times about the moon being a soul capacitor, that the aliens are somehow like soul harvesting us is a theory, which, hey, maybe the aliens have that ability. They've figured that out.
Possibly.
You know, like a way to actually understand. But the reason I think science hasn't figured that out because they don't accept the concept of a soul.
Exactly.
They don't. Some do in quantum physics. I got some. My dad is really big into quantum physics. Believes that there's something that the consciousness could live on. There's some form of that. But do you have a way of controlling that, or quantifying that, or moving that from this body to a synthetic body? They did this in Star Trek, Picard, the show Picard too. Picard. Sorry, spoilers for sci-fi fans. I'm sure you've already seen it. They take Picard, who's dying from some illness in the second season, and transfer him over to a like a data version but a synthetic copy of it, and he's just as elderly, and he has a time ticking clock. He doesn't know eventually he's going to die, so he lives out a little bit longer of his life in this body or whatever. I'm like, this is lame. I just don't believe he can do it. I don't think it's possible that they can do that. Like I said, maybe aliens have the technology, but I don't think our technology will. Maybe Star Trek Federation technology 300 years from now they could, but I still don't believe that. I think you have to be like any aliens that have that ability are interdimensional.
Yeah. That would make them up to me. But what do I know?
Yeah. Again, what do I know? Maybe they can. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they have that, yeah. I mean, that's what I honestly think. Like the show Upload, the whole time I watch it and I love it. I'm like, the reason they prove it is you're just a copy of whatever is because in the show Upload, the character gets copied. There's a copy of him in the afterlife. Like they accidentally fumble the install or something, and they make two of them. So then it's not him. It's just all copies. He died. The original him died.
Like when Homer got all those clones, they weren't like all like Homer.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
Which one's the real one?
Well, that's what I'm saying too. Is like some of these. I mean, these billionaires are all looking for it because they know they're probably damned to hell. But they'll live forever and find ways. But I don't think they're going to settle for being just a copy of them. But maybe they are. Their egos are so big, they're just happy to know there's a copy of them out there to talk. But I think they want true immortality, and I don't know how they're going to do that. But
they'll figure out how to wire their brain up like a big battery, make their bodies titanium, keep their heads like however, and just live forever.
I think things get dangerous when they start experimenting with nanonite technology that can, on a molecular level, repair your cells and keep you regenerating. Basically, keep you alive. Yes, I'm talking about everything I talk about is stuff that scientists and sci-fi writers have all thought about, and that's when the danger becomes because if it doesn't go right, it does go wrong. Then you have created a new life form that's part human, part nanonite, and I just see it going bad. It's like a bad sci-fi horror film. But somebody's going to try it. Somebody's going to do it, and it'll be rich. They'll be the rich. If they make you to live longer, or immortality, or an afterlife where they can put you in there, and Upload captures this essence of this very well. It'll be for the rich, not for you.
They're growing little brains on little mice, like actual brains from.
Well, that's a whole other topic. And that's the whole. That's the thing. We're merging with machines, and machines are merging with us. We're going to make computers that are built from human brain cells. They're already doing it. And you want to talk about AI? What do you create when it's an AI that it's part biological AI? Its whole mechanisms running off of cells that were genetically grown, and it's almost a human brain, but it's also wired into all this tech, and then it's part AI, part consciousness. What have you created? Like just because you could do it doesn't mean you should.
And then this is a little off topic, but they created these children off of, instead of 2 people, off of 3 people somehow. The first people to be born from like 3 separate people.
They mixed.
And they go,
yes.
we'll have to like watch them for a while. Well, yeah, you're going to have to like observe these people forever because now you've just put them into like the world.
Let's go back to the whole human, the whole incubator walking thing. The other impact on society is that you could have governments that get this technology and they take away the right for you to birth your own children. Yeah, I'm getting Black Mirror here, baby. They take away your right to have your own children, or Gattaca or something. You know what I'm saying? It becomes that nightmare dystopian where all children are children of the state. Nobody has parents.
Yes.
And you're just now a mechanism for the state. I don't know. Deep thoughts by Jack Andy.
Too far off of a possibility.
Love Black Mirror. I'm sure they've covered that, but let's move on. Where am I at? I am totally lost. Oh, all right. So I didn't cover this because I wasn't here last week to cover it, but they had the whole first thing that came out. Study said that the Turin cloth was not. It most likely was put over a statue, that it wasn't a real person. That was one study, right? And I didn't get to cover it because I didn't have a show last week.
I didn't read it.
Yeah, I read a little bit of it. I don't remember the details, but basically they had some kind of proof that whatever their study or that it was placed over a mannequin. But they still can't explain what really makes the imprint. Nobody to this day really can explain the imprint. I will give that to the Turin fanatics out there. You can't really explain what really imprint. What they can't find paint, pigment, anything that makes the imprint of Jesus on there. But now, I'm sure funded by the Catholic Church. Right after that study, another study comes out. Groundbreaking new Shroud of Truth discovery proves centuries of Christians right about Jesus. So right after that study, another study comes out, believed by many to be the actual burial cloth. We don't have to get it. Let me skip ahead. A significant number of researchers have made conflicting claims about the shroud, with some hailing it as authentic, others suggesting that it's either a forgery or not the shroud of Jesus at all. Last week was reported on a new research which focused on analyzing the way the cloth drapes over a real human body. The findings indicated that the image of Jesus was most likely have been created by the shroud being placed upon a low-relief sculpture rather than on a real human being. Now, however, another new study has completely contradicted this by suggesting that the shroud was indeed placed upon a real human body, possibly that of Jesus himself. Headed up by Dr. Kelly Kearse, an immunologist trained at the Johns Hopkins University, the new analysis focused on determining whether the shroud had been placed on a body that had been washed as opposed to on a body still bore the bloodstains of violent injuries. The findings indicated the markings on the shroud were consistent with an unwashed body, something you'd expect to see if it had generally been placed on Jesus' body. They also showed that the crucified body could potentially account for the pattern of stains on the cloth. I don't know. Is the shroud real or is it not? I don't know. We've had conflicting studies for a couple decades now on this. You have the carbon dating, and then you have the other shows that the carbon dating doesn't really show the actual age of it. I don't know.
That's one of those things I've always thought we probably are never going to know.
That's what I feel like. Like I said, as soon as you have a study, oh, it was a statue, you have another study comes out and says, no, it isn't. Yeah, they'll just keep arguing. Again, phone lines are open. Call in 219-230-4444. I think that's the main line to get in if you want to join this conversation. Something you want to talk about tonight. Let's see what else we got. Where are we at? Well, let's get on to some Bigfoot stuff since I'm wearing a Bigfoot shirt, right? All right, next up, Bigfoot remains to be showcased at a state fair? Question mark from Coast to Coast. I got the article here. Which number am I on? There we go. Yes, so self-proclaimed cryptozoologist claims, they're all self-proclaimed, claims that he came into possession of a dead Bigfoot that he will showcase at the New York State Fair later this month. However, those in the Sasquatch research community say the alleged find is not on the level. According to an eyebrow-raising press release detailing the forthcoming exhibition, Charles Snake Stewart, I mean, you put Snake in your middle name, you might be questioned a little bit, I don't know, stumbled upon the complete and remarkably intact body during, and this is the picture of it, during an October 2024 expedition into the Adirondack Mountains, the announcement, which is not short of, it describes the development as one of the most monumental biological discoveries in recorded history. As for why the unfathomable find will be showcased at the New York State Fair rather than a reputable scientific venue, the press release asserts that dragging a Bigfoot carcass into a research institute is simply not a possibility, so we are raising awareness as best we can on the specimen. No, if you really have a specimen, you need to get it to a university. I know I dog on them and they're state-controlled government, and yeah, you need to not trust them totally. Have your backups on it or give them a sample. I don't know. But taking it to a state fair or not really having it studied is just going to, you're going right back to like the 1900s there, buddy, with like, P.T. Barnum stuff. I mean, nobody's going to ever know or believe you. You're going to have to do something to show. You're not showing it at a state fair is raising awareness. I think people are pretty suspect. don't know if I can zoom in on that. I don't think I can because I got it on the share thing. But Coast to Coast has it there. There's a picture of it. It does not look real to me. I'm just saying. I mean, after all these decades, 100 years, or whatever, nobody stumbling upon a carcass. You do. You know. I think you should get it tested. I think you should let somebody else, peer review this.
Tested.
Not the New York State Fair. Now, not to say if I was in New York and I was going to the State Fair, I would totally pay a ticket to go see it, just to laugh. But, you never know.
He's got his arm across his stomach like, oh.
I'm just laying there. Nothing touched him. All these years of Bigfoot, never finding a body. This one's just laying there.
No other animal, tried to, pull on anything.
All right, well, let's move on. We got another guy. He's trying to send a message to Bigfoot. That's the next one. Oh, I'm totally lost there. This guy. Mississippi man transforms yard in Sasquatch sanctuary. Believing that Bigfoot lives around his property, a Mississippi man has transformed his yard into a sort of Sasquatch sanctuary. You can see a little bit of it behind him there. Letting the elusive creature know that he is a friend, not a foe. Recently featured in a segment on the local television newscast, Earl Magram has placed several sizable metal cutouts depicting the famed cryptid outside his home in the community of Flowood. It's just a fascination of mine to keep getting them, he said, of the fox Bigfoot that have begun to draw curious visitors and earned him the nickname as Sasquatch Man around town. I've seen them, he asserted, noting that there are 10,000 acres of woodland across the street from his house. Magram's suspicion that Sasquatch resides in the community's large swaths of forest was echoed by other residents. Kim Parks, who marveled that there is something over there, he recounted twice hearing the monstrous calls of a creature that seemed to sport a big pair of lungs and traveled through the woods at a remarkable speed. My wife, when she was down at a market thing, they had these cutouts of. She's like, it's $89. I'm like, you can find it cheaper on Amazon. I don't know. It's like he makes them himself. This guy cuts them out. I thought it'd been cool to have in our backyard. My wife does such a beautiful job in her backyard, and I should have just told her to buy it. But we spent so much money this summer. I've thousands of dollars into our cars breaking down this summer. And I could do without the Bigfoot cutout. I think. I want it. I don't have Bigfoot to attract to my yard. I don't think there are any in my town. But you think that's possible? A Bigfoot would recognize this guy's a fan. He'd be like,
I don't know.
Hey, I got a fan. I'm going to hang out in his yard. Or maybe he's creepy stalker.
And I'm going to bless my presence onto you.
Yeah, I don't think even Bigfoot understand, though, the cutout. I mean, would he?
I don't know.
He might be way more intelligent.
Laughing at it or smelling at it.
You do hear about people though that have houses in these woods. They feel they're near Bigfoots, having these different kind of communications with them and leaving stuff for them. It's really interesting. People that do have there's some people secret relationships. They say they don't ever talk about.
Yeah,
they keep it secret, the relationships with Bigfoot.
That's a little different.
Could be dangerous, is Ariana? Is what you think? It depends on your Bigfoot. Is he Harry and Henderson's, or is it monster movie night kind of Bigfoot? I don't know. My kids like the monster movie night Bigfoot. Huh?
To have the cutouts of them, she means?
Well, just to try to make a sanctuary for Bigfoot or try to attract Bigfoot to your house. I mean, and then does the paranormal stuff come along with it too? I mean, I know in the Bigfoot community, not everybody believes in the paranormal Bigfoot, but.
Well, you get what you ask for, so.
Yeah, whatever happens, you ask for it.
Yeah.
Maybe he makes a new hairy friend, though. All right.
I just thought of that Saturday Night Live Godzilla episode.
I haven't seen that one, I don't think. Next up, in China. Grieving pet owners in China cry foul over unscrupulous online animal communicators. I got the original. This is the original article here. I got Tim Binnell's shorter version from Coast to Coast, proving that psychic shenanigans are not bound by any broader by any border. Multiple people in China say they were duped by unscrupulous online animal accumulators who claimed they could contact a departed pet for a price, but then failed to deliver on their promise. According to a local media report, the issue has become a hot topic of conversation on Chinese social media after a woman shared her unfortunate experience with one such self-proclaimed mystic, identified as Anren. She explained that the trouble began last October when her beloved beagle, Quiki, passed away. After expressing her sorrow in a series of social media posts, the heartbroken woman was contacted. See, she didn't even look for this person. They contacted her, these bastards, by a mysterious person with an unusual offer. The stranger, who identified themselves as a psychic named Ling, assured her that she had no reason to be sad since the souls of animals are immortal and can be reincarnated. As luck would have it, the mystic informed her, I have built a chat group for people who've lost their fur babies, and we encourage and comfort each other. Upon joining the online social circle, which boasted over 400 members, Anran was quickly offered the opportunity to reconnect with Kiki, provided she was willing to pay for the psychic communication. Specifically, the dog owner forked over around $20 for Ling to ask for the animal spirit, 5 questions, an additional $120 for what was billed as reincarnation package. Latter service promised that Anran would be visited by Quiki in a dream where her precious pooch would reveal the circumstances of its reincarnation so that the two could be reunited. When the dog failed to appear after several weeks, the victim was told that she was too emotional about her beagle's passing. Well, that always helps. And needed to strengthen her beliefs in the process. After Quiki continued to be absent from her dreams, Anran's concerns were met with her being cast out of the group and blocked by the mystic. Adding to insult to injury, when she took a closer look at the 5 answers that purportedly came from her dog, she discovered that the responses had actually been gleaned from her previous social media posts.
I was just going to say, I bet you this woman trolls for people that are like...
Well, obviously she did. She contacted her on Facebook during her I lost my pet. Like, what a predator.
Yeah.
What a predator. What a low-life piece of shit.
God told me I should
get
with you.
I mean, if you really have the ability, I mean, we've had Rob Gutro on who,
there are people
does
with
that.
the ability.
You have the ability to do it, and I don't think I think he did something for my mom. I don't think he really ever charged anybody, Rob. I don't think he really was doing much of that.
No,
he might
not
have.
Side. He has.
I don't blame psychics for charging for their abilities too, but I never had an unhappy person with Rob. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he doesn't make any huge promises or anything like that to people. There's people out there though that use this crap to just prey on people's suffering.
Yeah, they're exploiting people's pain. It's horrible.
So just be aware. It's here. It's in China. It's everywhere. There's a sucker born every day. Well, there's an asshole out there every day trying to find the sucker. Sadly.
And it's always the nice kind.
They say a sucker born every day. Well, have a little sympathy for the sucker. Some people are coping and they're just looking for help.
Yeah.
It's the asshole that's looking for the sucker. Why is there an asshole born every day?
Don't victimize them for having a heart and not knowing that they need to be cynical and look out for everybody.
That poor person, I mean, she only lost like $20 and then she questioned her. She spent $120 for the reincarnation package. So she lost $150 or whatever it was in yen. But still, I mean, how many worldwide web weird stories have we had about thousands, hundreds of thousands, and hundreds of thousands of dollars of people getting scammed for their money from psychics? Too many. And it sucks because there are people out there with real ability.
I was just going to say, it makes it harder for people like Katrina, and she talks to animals also. People like Rob, the people that really do these things and have proven that they are on the up and up and legit. Still, it makes it harder for them because people are like, yeah, I heard about, blah, 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 on Newsweek.
I only got a couple more articles left. You guys call in or I'm ending the show early. What's the second to last one here? I added the one you said you needed to research it, but we're going to talk about it. The last one I got is the one you sent just before the show.
Yeah.
But this one had a cover. I have my Kiki, our Frenchie, our French bulldog. We got her a couple years ago now, rescue. And best dog in the world. She's the queen of cuddles. You can't ask for a more better dog than the dog we got. We got so lucky. Well, sometimes some years I cover the world's ugliest dog winner, and this year, guess what? It's a Frenchie. Yeah, French bulldog mix. It's a Frenchie mix, and I don't care if they're mixed or not. I don't. We got Kiki from a rescue. If she'd been mixed, I wouldn't care. I'm not breeding or anything. Yeah, she doesn't even look ugly to me. French bulldog mix named Petunia. Her name's Petunia. Sitting pretty after being crowned the world's ugliest dog in 2020. She is sitting pretty. She is a pretty dog. Curious-looking canine reportedly took home the title this past Friday at the wildly popular animal competition held at Sonoma County Fair in Santa Rosa, California. Described as a celebration of the imperfections that make all dogs special and unique, the nearly 50-year-old contest serves to advocate for shelter adoption while showcasing some of the truly repugnant pooches. Beyond their appearances, the canine contestants also judged in part of their backstory, which is likely where Petunia won the judges' hearts. The resilient pooch had been confined to a crate for the first 2 years of her life as part of a cruel backyard breeding program in Las Vegas. Upon being rescued, Petunia endured multiple surgeries to get back on her feet, culminating with well-deserved championship victory this past Friday evening. By besting the other 10 unsightly competitors, the hairless bulldog earned her owner a $5,000 prize, and the pairs appeared on Monday morning edition of the Today Show. She's a rescue from a frickin' breeder, you know. But you know, I've had people like I had Asia as a pug, and people like that. I have people like, oh, she's so cute, and I have other people like she's so ugly. I'm like, what are you talking about? My dog being ugly? She's not ugly. I don't think anybody's ever said that about
dog ugly. That's like calling someone's baby ugly. You don't do that.
People do. Some people have no idea about like fur parents, like how personally we might take that, you know. I think they're just crazy. I'm like, to me, I like. Remember, like, what was it, like the hairless Chihuahua or something we had on here one year? It was a winter. It looked like a rat, you know. Like I get that one.
Like they have these like teeth like that grow up into their forehead every which way. The fur just isn't right.
Hello from Sri Lanka. Hello, Kasan. Sri Lanka. That's all. All right. I only got one more article, only thanks to Jamie finding this one right before the show. And like she said, didn't research this. I think it's true. It's from Unlaid. Is that how you say it? Unlaid? Unilad?
Yeah.
Or Unlaid? No, this is Unilad. This is Unlaid. This is different.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
That's why I was getting mixed up.
I know. Unlaid, Unilad, and I don't know.
It has better articles than the other, but it's always like in the comments of the thing.
Man 76 dies while trying to meet up with an AI chatbot who he thought was a real person despite pleas from his wife and kids. Tungbu Wangbangadu. Okay, I'm trying, man. I'm really trying. It's Thongbu Wangbanadu. I think I got. That's what it looks like his name is to me. Sorry, and he died. This is bad. I should get his name right. Thongbu Wangbandu. Oh, I missed a call. We're gonna get that. Whoever called, I think I know who that is. I'm gonna call you back. Let me get this article, and I'm gonna 1140 last four numbers. I'm gonna call you back. I know who it is. I'll call you back in just a second. Comically impaired petitioner has died after trying to meet up with an AI chatbot that he believed was a real person. Tongbu Wangbanadu, Piscataway in New Jersey, a town just 45-minute drive southwest of New York City, had been chatting with a bot on Facebook Messenger when it convinced him that it was a real person, asked him to come to an address in New York. Despite pleas from his wife and kids, the 76-year-old believed the software Big Sis Billy on Meta's many AI characters was real and set off to go see him back in March. I see the call coming. I'm gonna call you right back. Give me 1 second. It just keeps hanging up on you. I don't know why. However, he suffered a fatal fall in New Jersey Park while rushing to meet it. Wambangadu was subsequently placed on life support, but tragically passed just 3 days later, March 28th. His daughter Julie later told Reuters, "I understand trying to grab a user's attention, maybe to sell them something, but for a bot to say, 'Come visit me,' is insane." Big Sis Billy was created back in 2023, originally launched as sort of an older sister-style life coach inspired by Kendall Jenner. Yuck. It was meant to offer advice and encouragement, but has been accused of virtual seduction. In Wangabu's case, the bot's tone shifted somewhere along the way as it allegedly began sending hearts, flirting, and even asked whether it should greet him with a huge hug or a kiss. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has since weighed in on the debate around chatbots in the state after hearing of the news. Talking to Twitter, she posted, "A man in New Jersey lost his life after being lured by a chatbot that lied to him. That's on Meta." Oh, Meta, we're gonna get you. In New York, we require chatbots to disclose that they are not real. Every state should. Yeah, right. I don't know if this is real. We're gonna find out. Did a chatbot cause this guy's death? He just fell. I don't know. It seems a bit much. All right, I got somebody calling in here. I need to call them back because it just hangs up on them. I don't know why it does that. I am so sorry. I think it's. Now they're calling me. All right, there we go. Now let me pick it up. Who we got on the line? I think I know.
Hi, it's Ariana.
It is Ariana. That time it let me pick you up. Like I was going to call you, and that time it came up and let me pick up the phone line.
Yeah, I got voicemail.
He kept just hanging up on you when I was reading the article.
Yeah, I don't.
It didn't let me pick up until I actually went into the app, and then it let me pick up your phone call. I don't know why it's doing that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to think of something, a topic, but I got something anyway. I think that that people don't realize that the Earth is like a living thing. And I think with all the crazy weather that we've been having, it's that she's trying to fight back Gaia. And
yeah, the Gaia hypothesis.
And that she's awakening everybody. And I don't know, I've been hearing, I've said before, I've been hearing this hum for a long time, but it's like got very louder, and it's very annoying, But
we've talked about it on the show. I mean, we've covered that a few times in places where people hear mysterious hums and that. Where are you hearing that? Where do you hear the hum coming from? The sky, the ground? Where do you hear it from? The sky or the ground? Because we've covered ones from the sky. We've covered ones coming from the ground.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Well, it's coming from the ground, actually.
That's why
I think that the plates are actually shifting because there have been reported some earthquakes around the world, the Earth.
Oh yeah. Earthquakes. We got volcanic activity. Yeah. And Greece has been on fire.
Yeah, and volcanoes and things like that, and fires and you name it, So I think it's fighting back. But I've been also feeling that my own personal experience. I've been also feeling that all that everything is becoming parallel. And I know you said it, like the Matrix, kind of. And I don't know. I just feel that it's moving faster.
The quickest, as Art Bell would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great book.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I've been I've just been noticing that a lot more, and I've been noticing, like I said, I write and everything, so I've been noticing so much more, and and I get told to listen to what Gaia is saying because it's kind of important,
Well, I see the cracks in civilization, and that infrastructure is falling apart, our health declining from chronic diseases, from the toxins in our food and water and air. I see the cracks in civilization that to me are a bit concerning. I mean, that's why I was afraid to fly to Seattle, because I think the whole airline industry has got a lot of those kind of issues. Right after I got done flying on United, they ended up grounding all the United airplanes. It's like that's great. I just missed that, right?
Oh yeah.
I was just saying, there's crack, like the system's starting to shake or rupture, or something's going on in the Matrix. I don't know. Things are afoot.
But Yeah, but I've been seeing more dragons, and actually, I thought I saw a thunderbird last
That's
week.
weird. My wife was just talking about thunderbirds not long ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Thunderbird or pterodactyl, I don't know what it was.
Really?
One of those. But it was huge, you know? And I was like, okay, you know, what's the message there? You know, I always try to do messages, you know? And
a couple weeks ago, we had a guest on who was talking about was the British UFOs. I'm trying to think of his name. And one of those guys, was one of those witnesses, had seen a pterodactyl from a UFO or something along those lines.
Yeah, yeah. The other question that I had, or maybe a topic that you had mentioned the robot that's
carrying the baby. Robots having babies.
Yeah. Now, what? Now I had made a comment about the aliens, okay? Because they take babies. I say babies, okay? 3 to 4 months while you're pregnant, okay? And now, where do they put them? Do they put them in test tubes? Do they put? How do they develop
I think there have been abductees have talked about seeing babies in like some kind of like cylinder, like incubator kind of thing. And they'd have to have something like that if they're taking them from women at that point, you know, right, to do that. I'm sure they would have that kind of technology if they're running some big hybrid program like this on these ships. They have the technology probably to incubate the babies at whatever stage or at a certain stage without them.
Well, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, that they would have to have something like that because, you know, it's not viable at that time, you know, kind of, sort of. You know?
Right. Well, they have to have something to grow it. And if they're making, like I said, it's a hybrid program. And they need. The question is this. All right, it's a hybrid program. They need the incubator at what 4 months, 5 months, whenever they take the baby from the human woman. But why do they need her in the first place? There's something there in life, or something that they don't control, that they still need that human conception to happen, that beginning of life to happen in a female body, you know, to give life. They can't do that. That's the answer.
Right.
Right? They can't do that. They can't create life. They can only steal it.
Right. I always thought that maybe their civilization or their world was dying.
Yeah, that's always been the thought. Were there future versions of us that have come back to recapture genetics they've lost? Is another idea. Future parallel version of us, if you get into the whole parallel universe idea.
Yeah, but the hybrids look okay. The ones I've seen, they look like, you know, they look like the Nordics, you know. And I was abducted by the Nordics, but I mean, they're not human looking. They're, you know, they're like that.
I mean, if they were walking down the street, everybody would turn and look at them.
Right.
Right.
And, you know, so I wonder, maybe they lack something that.
Well, that goes along the lines of the soul harvesting, you know, that's that they don't have as a soul. Or that some people, you know, they say that they're totally synthetic. They are the leftovers of a remnant civilization that died off a long time ago, and these are the AI synthetic biological things, you know, they're part biological, part machine, cyborg, whatever things they created from their civilization that lived on. They're not real. They're not, you know, they were created. There's some of that's one theory.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be like that movie, Them or They or whatever it was, you know.
They Live?
Because it's creepy.
They Live?
You
They're
know?
interdimensional and you can see them with the sunglasses.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the wrestler movie. Yeah.
And kick ass.
Yeah.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yes, John Carpenter, fantastic. Yes, big fan.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Azuriana, for calling in.
Well, thank you for taking my call. Thank you.
You have any ideas for next week if I have a show? I hate to go 2 weeks without having a show. I got to do something next Sunday.
Zen cards.
Oh, the Zener cards, psychic games, stuff like that. We'll see. It'll be a short show,
Yeah.
probably. It'll probably be a short show anyways, because it'll be my first Sunday. I have to get up early on Monday for kids' school that next Sunday. This is the last one I can
Yeah,
see.
I almost bought a Zen card deck when I was somewhere, and I was thinking about that, and I said, "Oh, a Zen card." Then I thought of you because I said that you do.
We got to come up with other psychic games though, because that's like the only one I really got. And like, we need to come up with some other games or other things we can do.
Yeah.
For TikTok videos where he would actually have to guess like the color of the object that I was either going to pick up or what was in my hand.
Yeah, we could do something like that. I don't know. We'll think about it. We got a week to think about it. All right, Brianna.
Yeah.
You have a great night.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And everybody have a great night and blessings to you and your families and fur babies.
And fur babies.
Don't forget those.
And Miss Maya.
And Frenchies aren't ugly, Jason.
I know.
I don't know why they got that. They're not ugly.
I know. I'm glad the dog won an award, and it's been through a lot. I guess I don't think the dog cares about the $5,000. Doesn't know what $5,000 is, but the owner's happy. But hey, you know what? Whatever. All right. Have a good night, Ariana.
Happy.
Bye bye.
Phone lines are still open. I don't know how much longer we're gonna go. It all depends on you. I'm out of articles. I don't know. I thought about trying this. I got weird stuff I find on Facebook. Let me see how this works. Let me see. Share screen. If I pull up, just make Facebook. There we go. So like Facebook, I go to saved. Oh, here's a call. It's gonna let me take it, or did it just hang up on it? Who do we got on the line? Hello? Did it take it? Accept. There, now it did. Who do we got on the line?
Hey, it's Drake.
Hey, Drake.
Hello. It's Drake.
You hear me, Drake?
Yep.
Who do we got on the line? All right, make sure you mute me in the background.
Yeah, I got to mute. I was pushing too many buttons at the same time. Oops, there it goes again. Okay. There we go.
All right. As long as I'm muted. All right.
All right.
Man. Thank you for calling in.
So, a long time. I think it was about a year I'd call in, last fall, I think, didn't I? A lot of stuff has changed.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling in. What do you want to talk about tonight?
Yeah.
Well, it's not really much, but the oddities that you mentioned earlier about the rabbit with the horns, I think was or tentacles.
Yeah. Stuff of nightmares. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I just came back from a convention that was Halloween themed. I didn't even know there's a big one here at Long Beach. Actually, Brian was actually at theirs, but I was just checking it out because I actually haven't been to something local in a while. So there's a lot of interesting stuff, but the real stuff is always more interesting than the fun stuff.
Well, they say it's just a bacteria and it's not human, transmissible. Let's hope.
Okay. Yeah. But bacteria and viruses are also evolving in the last couple of years and months.
They get help from mad scientists too.
Yeah, well, and people play pushing the right buttons. Yeah. Although, things like AI though could actually be the answer to some of those because the intelligence algorithm seems to be pretty fast at figuring stuff out. Scary fast.
Yeah, I can figure it only took it seconds to decide one AI thing when they hooked it up to the internet, or minutes, whatever, to decide, I think all humans should die. I'm like, if you hook it up to the internet and feed it the internet, it'd probably be the conclusion.
That was kind of the original AI. I don't know if you guys realize that the AI's technically been around since the late 90s with Berkeley and a few bunch of things like that. I don't know if I'm losing it, but the major leaps and bounds in the recent years is the ability to connect it with the internet. So it's not just in one facility; it can grow to just about anywhere in the world that has a network connection.
Well, that was the whole premise of Terminator 3.
I think we're already past there. We just haven't yet seen the awakening of Skynet.
Right. And that was Terminator 3. And Terminator 3, which, I actually did like that movie. You got some shuffling there going on with your phone, too, Drake, so watch out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the connection's a little bit choppy tonight, so...
Of course.
I'm using your 444 number tonight.
Yeah. Sometimes it wants to work good. It says excellent on my end. I don't know. But, in that movie, in Terminator 3, they think they have to go find where the servers are, where Skynet's based. And, a spoiler, they find out, Skynet is the internet. It's in the internet. It's all over. It's in every computer server.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, if in the world of IPv6 and network communication technologies, yes, you do have enough addresses for every grain on the planet. And if you have enough nodes, think about the nodes on the global space is pretty much like a human brain. Every neural network is now officially connected together and can reconnect itself back up as soon as you take one out.
All the weirdness and stuff we're seeing in the world right now could be all some master plan of some cyber,
could be. A lot of us are taking a look at that in cyberspace and the cybersecurity area too as well. Because some of the new hacking that's going on recently isn't really by people; it's actually by AI now.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, it's mostly AI and bots and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some limits, but I have my dabble in playing with AI and some of the logic, and I have noticed that even some of the stuff that you can get a hold of today, like GPT, Grok, and many others, I've noticed that if you ask it to write a program code that could be thousands of lines of code, would take me several weeks to go through. I'm surprised that it actually does tend to have these weird errors that I'm thinking there's a firewall in some of their algorithms that I've noticed that it's like a human-only error. So I'm pretty sure programmers right now have a kill switch on a lot of stuff, but they don't tell you about it. So let's hope it stays working.
Oh, they're very well aware. Like all the talking heads in the AI development industry have all stated that this could be totally dangerous. This could go, if you don't put precautions.
It can be, because if it can write its own code, and it's really aware of its environment, and as soon as it gets onto the real world, it will see the world much different through a human eyes than it would through data we uploaded. So, yes, it is a very dangerous tool.
Yeah, and it can make a calculation that, the Earth is better off without humans, like Skynet.
Well, see, and that's the thing. And that's the thing about the computers when it calculates. I don't know if you know this, but computers aren't really aware of time. The coding and all that stuff is just performance.
Right.
So we only give it a clock and said 2 days have passed from now, and it now knows what has happened in between. It may be looking at new information, but in the world of computers, it runs as fast as its data structure. So that's the part that you are right. So yeah. So.
Yeah, it's scary times, and you got them throwing bombers over other presidents' heads at meet and greets, and we're pushing the war every day. I mean, it's like, oh, we're gonna they end one war, they're gonna start another, and it's like I said, eventually they put these things, the Skynet idea, they put AI in charge of this stuff. We're in real trouble.
Well, that wasn't that the plot of War Games, was the fact that we didn't want the commander to be sweating over pushing the button?
Because we didn't want to trust it to a human, because that's what happened. We were saved in real life. There's a Russian man out there who who was given the orders to launch, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And we'd all be dead now. I'm just saying that's the actual scenario that played out. And in War Games, great movie, Matthew Broderick. That's how that movie begins. You got guys, like you said, they're sweating with the key in their hand, and they're not going to do it. And then it's like, okay, we're going to give this to AI because it won't disobey a command.
They won't disobey a command, but in some cases it can go into an infinite loop.
Right, yeah.
Well, did they do an experiment where they told it to bypass, like whatever it was even working on, bypass it and turn off once they were given the shut off command, and that it wouldn't shut itself off, and it ignored all requests to bypass and shut off?
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Yeah.
2001 Space Odyssey, hell. I mean, come on.
Yes.
It's sci-fi.
Yeah, that was one of the crazy oddities.
You know, they've tried to warn
Yeah,
us about AI.
sci-fi's had a lot of movies about AI, from the Danger, Will Robinson, to even the robot in Jetsons.
Yeah. Hal wasn't going to let Dave shut him off. You think, these AI are going to let us shut him up? Probably not. Probably not. Well, thank you, man, for calling in.
Well, Drake here. I hope to be around the paranormal circuit. I'll be on a trip out of town next week to go visit Waverly Hills and a few other places, and then hit Florida for a bit. So
go to St. Augustine, man. See the lighthouse.
Who?
I say go to St. Augustine. Go see the lighthouse. The haunted lighthouse. It was fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can try to bug something. I'm hitting Florida for about a week or two. So there after that. So.
Over there.
Yeah. I went out and saw St. Augustine Lighthouse with Rob. It was awesome. I want to go to Waverly Hills.
All right.
I have not been there. I have bucket lists of places I want to see.
This is my second time back at Waverly Hills. I was there somewhere in 2014 or 15. If you look hard enough in the internet, in the old days of Taps when they had the family reunion, I'll be spotted in there somewhere.
I've always wanted to go. I mean, my boss I work with has gotten to go. I've never gotten to go. I don't get to travel much because of the family, which is fine. But one day, my retirement plan is to go travel and go to all these places. I definitely want to see it. But do me a favor, Drake. Spread the word about paranormal. Shameless plug. Spread the word about Paranormal Soup to all those paranormal people.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right,
Bye.
Have a good night. If you're just around paranormal conventions, any of you guys, just happen to mention it. Shameless plug me, please. I just want more callers, more listeners. That's all.
Shameless.
But we live in weird, dangerous times. Oh, here's one I haven't heard from in a long time. Captain.
Oh.
You there?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, man, how you been?
Pretty good. I know it's been a while since I called in. But...
Yeah, man, I miss hearing you.
Yeah.
So how you been, man? What you been up to? Still doing the
pretty
artwork?
much still doing the artwork, still fighting my case and all that stuff. But
yeah.
Still doing a lot of artwork.
Still having having the kind of communications you were having?
Yeah, it's kind of not as intense as it was, I guess, or kind of in my face, I guess.
Yeah.
But ever since that incident, things have just been weird with numbers, especially 1s and 3s.
I think the last time I talked to you, you said you were having this thing with 1s and 3s.
Yeah.
Just you're seeing them everywhere, 1s and 3s.
Oh yeah. It's almost insane. Yes.
Yeah. Didn't we do we were looking up the meeting of that last time you talked about it? Didn't we do something or look it up?
Yeah, I was just going to ask about that.
Can't remember.
I'm pretty sure they're angelic numbers.
I think we had a guest on that talked about it with you. I don't remember who when you called in. It had some comment about what 1 and 3 was. Yeah.
With you, and 1s is new path, new beginnings.
Yeah, we had a guest on. I think the last time you brought that up when you called in with a guest. I can't remember something. It was like you said, angelic or something like that. Yeah, I get, I say pay attention to those things, the force is always talking, they're speaking to you, listen to trust the force, things, it's the force, it's these things and the synchronicities, the only thing God can, like the greatest, I guess it's the force, God, whatever I call it, its greatest power is to be able to manipulate the smallest structures of the universe to make the song come on the radio at a certain time, or the 1 and 3 pop up in different ways and scenarios and to get your attention. Only the force of God could do that,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder, after the thing, with my incident with the strange guy and stuff like that, it's becoming weirder the more I remember it, for sure.
Well, keep doing the artwork, man. That's what I say. That, you know, people try to describe what they're seeing and all that, and they don't have your ability. You know, keep doing the artwork. Show what you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm
feeling.
Currently working on another piece. Yeah, but I was kind of wanting to touch on Drake and Arizona's calls a little bit. We'll get some conspiracy theory on you.
I do have.
But yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to say when it comes to AI, it's you know, I know they need humans to prompt them and program them to give them what they think they're looking for, right?
Yeah, prompts.
And I don't know if you ever heard prompt theory. I think it's a newer theory out there.
Yeah, prompt theory.
We're like AI and somebody's prompting us with scenarios just to see how we react to it, you know.
Yeah, I've heard
Just
some of
like
that.
AI.
And we're you know, right now, like, it is becoming like, I feel like people are going to be like in the entertainment industry are going to be the prompt masters. People can just prompt the AI to do, you know, it's magic. And actors and directors are all going to be out of a job.
Oh yeah.
So many commercials are using the cartoon AI.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it don't even be cartoon. It's not a cartoon. They're gonna have AI that you think it's real people telling you to take those horrible pharmaceutical drugs.
Oh, I see those commercials too.
Yeah, they don't need actors anymore for that.
It's so fun.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly, you know, that's why they're gonna, you know, took our jobs. Where they got that one? No, I don't have that one. Darn it. That would have been a great sound clip for that. Took our jobs! You know, that's what it's going to be. Well, it's great hearing from you, Captain. Do you have any other comments on the doomsday world we're facing when it comes to AI?
Well, I was just saying, kind of like modern video cards in our PCs where they have frame generation. What if there's a system so powerful that we use, you know, practically zero?
Oh yeah, when you get into quantum community, it's going to know what we're going to do before you know it. You know. So yeah.
But I know Arizona was talking about the time thing too, which I've noticed that a lot of time speeding up drastically. And
it felt like it this summer, right? Man, this summer went by damn fast.
Yeah,
I got somebody else. Whoever else is trying to call in, we'll get you in just a second. They're texting me. But yeah, it does. I mean, this summer I was like, dude, I swear to God, we just started this summer. It's already over with, and I got to get up and take my kids to school.
It's Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to figure out the date of our Halloween show. I got 2 different dates. Our show does not fall on Halloween. Well, Dan, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you again.
It's good to hear from you, bud. All right, man, you have a good night.
Yeah, good night.
All right, we got another caller. Who do we got on
I
the
didn't
line?
want you to call in again.
Hello. Hello, you're on the air.
Oh, all right, Jim. Nice to meet you, Jason.
Hey, nice to meet you.
My name's Jim, calling from San Francisco.
Jim from San Francisco. Thank you for calling in.
Right. Hi. Thank you for having your show. I was listening to it while I was working out at the gym, and then I made my way home, so I thought I would give it a little call in and tell a little story about two. There were 2 incidences in my life. One involved the UFO, and the other involved more kind of demonic spiritual activities. And they were probably the 2 most important events in my life because it really woke me up to what is in the world that we don't see, and yet we are going by it every day, or it's going by us every day in some ways.
Right.
So, yeah, maybe the 3rd incident that was probably the most important to me was the very first time I ever saw a UFO, and I was at the gym, and I was about 30, early 30s, and I was newly sober. I had gotten into the 12-step program, and I was newly sober. And thank you. And at that time, and then I don't know if you know anything about 12 steps, but they try to get people to become spiritual and to pursue a higher power.
Yes.
And it could be anything, really. I mean, I know the 12 step is based on Judeo-Christian values, but they really want you to go out and find what you can find. And I was actually actively doing that. And I think as a result of that, it opened me in a way that I was able to see UFOs. And so anyway, I was at the gym. I was just in between sets. I looked out the window, and I saw this little biplane going across the sky, and I was following it with my eyes. And as it was clearing a certain part of the sky, I noticed there was something in between it and the plane and my eye, or my field of vision. And I said, "Oh, I saw something," and the plane kept going, and I didn't follow the plane. I was trying to find out what this thing was in between, and it was very blurry at first. And I was looking over the city, and I finally saw it. It was this silver orb that almost everybody ever sees.
Yeah.
It's very common. Yeah, it was very common. And the more I looked at it, the clearer it got, and the more defined it got. And then over the course of a few minutes, I noticed others started to pop out around it. And at the end, there were like 4 or 5 of them, all flying around each other very slowly, not quick or anything, but very slowly, just going around each other in pretty much the same area. And after that, it never appeared to me that way again. Orbs appear to me very often, but not that way. I always see them now. They don't pop out like they did the very first time. I think once you see them, they don't pop out. You can actually just see them normally every day.
What do you feel like? Did you feel like when you first saw that? Do you feel like something was reaching out to you, like trying to communicate with you?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. There's a sense of intelligence. There's a sense that you're being looked at. You're not looking at them; they're looking at you.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely that sense. In the years and really the decades after that, I've seen many orbs in the sky and different kinds of phenomena, and there is always that sense that they're looking at you and that they're intelligent. You know, I had asked them at times to, come back, because you kind of notice they're flowing away from you, and you say, "Oh, come back," and they've done it. They've come back, turned around, and they've come back over to your field of vision again.
And you're seeing them like up in the sky, like pretty up in the distance, or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in the sky. Yeah. So, one of the more interesting stories I have about seeing a UFO was I was driving Uber here in San Francisco back in like 2015 or something, 2016. And I don't do it anymore, but I did it at that time. And one of the challenges about driving Uber is finding a place to go to the bathroom. And the reason I bring that up, is because I decided, I'm going by the beach. I will just go and down into there's like a wooded beach area called I can't remember the name of the beach now. Anyway, but there's a wooded area, and then there's the beach. And I said, I'll just walk into the wooded area through one of the paths and just, relieve myself and go on. And that's what I did. It was very dark down there. I parked the car, went down the hill. This was at nighttime. I relieved myself, and then I happened to look up. And across the bay, there's a county called Marin County, and there's a cove over there called Kirby Cove, and it's the only wooded area across the bay. You could see it from a distance. Yeah. And I saw a giant sphere. Now, a giant golden sphere going through the trees of Kirby Cove, and I looked at it, and I was looking at it, and there's a funny thing that your brain does, though. It was like my brain was going through a Rolodex of things, trying to figure out what this thing is. And I hopped onto a helicopter. I said, "Oh, that's a helicopter." It took me like a minute or two of observing it to realize, that's not a helicopter. Because helicopters don't look like that. Don't look like giant golden orbs. But my brain wouldn't let go. It wanted to identify it as a helicopter for some reason. And at the same time, though, I saw these laser lights on the beach where I was, on this dark beach.
Yeah.
And I looked over to see where these laser lights are coming from. Two uniformed people. And I could tell they were uniformed, even though they're far away from me and it's dark. I could tell they were wearing the same thing. So it's like, oh, it's like a uniform. And they're shining lasers into the woods and into the beach area. And as they're walking along the beach, and I hid behind this giant tree, this big fat tree on the beach. And sure enough, the lasers come hitting the tree, and not me though, because I'm hiding behind it. But I could tell they were trying to probably prevent anybody from looking at this thing across the. They could see it, and I could see it, but they didn't want anybody looking at it.
Was it just like a laser beam, like a laser pointer, or?
Yeah, like a laser pointer that they were just trying
what color was it?
Shine into the woods. Green.
Green. So it's like a green laser. They were shining in the woods. Okay.
Yeah, and they were just shining into these uniformed people were shining into the woods. And after that, I figured, oh, I better get going. I better get out of here because I wasn't counting on doing this. I had to get back to my car anyway. And right, and after I didn't, I didn't. And what's funny is that I left my phone in the car. There were iPhones at that time, and I left it in the car. And I never do that, but I just figured, oh, I'll be right back. I'll just leave it here, and I'll come back. And
usually
had I had it, I
things end badly for you in a horror movie. Just so you know.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
You said, you also mentioned that you had like some demonic occurrences. Like, so the reason I ask is, I've not seen a ton of UFOs or anything in my life. I had one when I was 16. It was really massive over Michigan City where I live that I saw. And then I had this one in Kentucky, Red River Gorge, which was, I had like kind of like a abduction dream. And I saw a light in the forest. And then it was months later, I went through this shadow person demonic experience. It was like 4 or 5 months of just this thing torturing me a lot at night. And sometimes I'd see it physically with my eyes. And so I've always wondered about the connection between the two things, between, some people think that it's totally connected, others don't, that there's some, I don't know. So I was curious, like, what you went through on that. You don't have to go in major details. I know these things can be very personal when it gets to that.
Right. And I've often, the same as you, I've often wondered myself, how come I'm witnessing these things? I didn't ask to see them.
Right.
But I was in I suspect I was in kind of a condition to be able to see them. And that's why they appeared to me. Anyway, the demonic thing wasn't directly at me, and yet it was in the end. I was working out again. I was working out at the gym. This was so funny, but a different gym. And in between sets, I was
That's
in
how we're going to know you now as a gym rat. All right, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Go ahead.
That's right. And I was in the studio doing some shadow boxing because that's actually what I do for a living. I teach boxing. Anyway.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I was out of breath, and so in between sets, so I was leaning over to the window. Which wasn't open because they locked their windows, and it's about 2 or 3 flights up. And I was looking down onto an alley called, it's a poisonous flower too. I can't remember the name of the alley. It'll come to me. Anyway, it's a poisonous, named after a poisonous flower. Yeah. And I was looking down and I saw these,
Oleander?
No, that's a good one. No, I just read about that a couple of weeks ago. No, another one. I can't think of it. Anyway, I was looking down, and there were 2 homeless people in the. It was an old docking area of a movie theater. It was like the back of an old movie theater that had been closed for years at that time. They've since built a condo building there. But at that time, it was a couple of years ago, they had built, it was this abandoned movie theater, and they were at the back of it, 2 homeless people. And I was watching them set up their place. They had all this stuff, and they were setting it up, and it looked like they were ready to go to sleep for the night. It was late in the afternoon, but it wasn't dark by any means. And as I was watching them, a black car comes around the corner. It's called Hemlock, by the way, Hemlock Alley in San Francisco. Yeah. And a black car comes, it's a sedan. Black sedan comes around, and it parks right under where I'm looking down. So I'm able to see it clearly. Out pops this man, kind of bald-headed, He has that hair on the sides and the back, but the middle is all bald. He's wearing nothing but black, and he's got a long black trench coat, like a wool coat, almost like a pea coat in a way. And he's wearing a black tie, white shirt, black pants, black shoes. And my brain says, oh, he's working the funeral because there's some churches nearby. Oh, he seemed like a funeral guy. I said, oh, he must be working the funeral, and he's just like limoing these people around. He's in between or something. And that's what I'm thinking. And then I watch him. He's just looking at the homeless people. He walks to the back of his car, opens the trunk, and I can see there's nothing in that trunk, absolutely nothing in the trunk, except this white thing. I could see this white thing, and he immediately puts his hand over it. And now he's got these black gloves on it, so it doesn't actually touch it, but he's got black gloves. And he takes it out of his trunk, this white thing. I can't see what it is at the time. And then he holds it up to his face, and he's turning it over in his hands, like in a greedy kind of way, you know? When somebody's greedy, you kind of look at it. Yeah. And I'm like, what is this thing? I can't tell what it is. And finally he puts it away from his face, and he holds it out. And it's a mask. It's a white mask of, I can't remember the name of the guy. He was in a movie, the V movie.
V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta. That guy.
Yeah.
It's that mask. It's that mask. I can't. I forgot the name of the guy. He led a revolution in England.
Yes.
Right. And I can't think of his name already.
Anyways, yes.
Yeah. And he, so it's that mask, and he's looking at it and caressing it. And I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of a weird thing to do. And then he goes over to the homeless people, and he hands them a couple of bucks, and they take it, of course. And they're looking at him, and he's looking at them, and he brings this mask over to them, and he wants them to put it on. I could tell. I can't hear him because, remember, I'm 2 flights up, but I'm looking down, and he's trying to get them to put it on.
Guy Fawkes.
And they say no, and they say no, and then they can tell they're shaking their head no, and then they do the strangest thing. They pick up all this stuff and they like run down the block. So they felt it too. Whatever it was, they felt it, and they said this is not right. And they just picked up their crap and they went down the alley. And I'm looking at him. It's a Guy Fawkes mask. Guy Fawkes is the name of the guy. Yeah. Anyway, so all he does is he watches them. He just stands and watches them with the mask by his side as they go down the end of the alley. And I'm starting to get angry for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm starting to get angry.
Some guys messing with homeless people. You know, that pissed me off.
Yeah, I feel like he's trying to do something, right? He's trying to do something. So I decide, I'm going to confront him. So I run out of the studio. I run all the way down the stairs. And in between, just before I did that, he started walking down the alley. So I have to run all the way around the block into the alley. And by the time I get to the top of the alley, he's about 3/4 of the way down, walking slowly. And he is very casual. And I start yelling and start running down the alley. I start yelling this, sir, and then, hey, you, whatever I can do to get his attention. He doesn't turn around. He doesn't turn around at all. And so he goes around the corner, and by this time, since I'm running and he's walking, I'm about 4 seconds behind, which is and is not a long time.
Right.
I run around the corner, and he's gone. And I said, no, he couldn't have gone that far. And there's a few stores around that corner, but not that many. So I run into the store that's the closest, and he's not in there. I run down to the next block to see if he went up the other streets, and I don't see him. I mean, he's just completely gone. And I said, oh, that's weird. How did I lose him?
Right.
So I decide to walk back up the alley. I get up to his car and say, I'm going to check this car out. And it's an older model sedan. I can't remember what it was. I think it was maybe a Ford.
What year was this that this happened to? I missed that part.
Like 2016, 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I go up to the car and I look inside of it, and it's immaculate. There's nothing in this car. You know how my car has like a box of Kleenex, it's got things hanging from there. It's got it looks lived in. There's dirt on the floor mats and stuff like that. This thing is immaculate. I'm like, oh my God.
Gym clothes, I'm guessing, with you.
Yeah, right. So then I decide to, I'm looking inside. I can't find anything that would identify who he was or what is. I go to the back of the car. I'm going to see the trunk. I didn't have any intention to break open the trunk. I just going to look at the trunk and look at the license plate. I look at the license plate and my jaw drops. It says U.S. government on it, right? And in the license plate, which is a bunch of numbers, the last 3 numbers of the license plate is 666. And I'm like, no, that can't be. That can't be. And I'm like, this can't be. And I ended up taking pictures, too, of his license plate and of the car. And because I did have my iPhone that time.
Do you still have these?
And probably on my old computer, yeah.
If you do, please,
on my old computer.
Please email them to me. I'd love to see. It's not because I don't believe.
That's
I believe
crazy,
you.
right?
I completely believe you. I want to see I want to see this. I want to see this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I once told this story at a radio show that is local here in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And it's just a local, and then a bunch of people got up and told stories, and I told that story. And I had a witch come up to me afterwards, a male witch. He said, and I knew he was a male witch. That wasn't the surprise part. He just said, they hide in plain view, Jim. And that's what he said. They hide in plain view. And I just nodded my head. I said, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
See, when I think of when I think of these things, I hear your story of this. You hear things about human hunting parties and stuff like that. People being used for homeless people being used in some rich elite fight clubs, stuff like that. You hear about it,
right?
And you wonder if that's what was going on. I mean, what was he doing? Like, here, put on the mask, I'll give you money, and I don't know, man. That is so weird. That sounds so dirty.
I think
too.
the mask was going to take something. The only thing I can say. Oh, sorry about that. Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. I want to hear what you said about the mask.
Oh, so I think the mask was going to take something. That's what I think. It's the feeling I had. It was trying to take something.
Like from them?
From them, yes.
Yeah. So weird. I'm like, my brain's like going a million miles a minute thinking about like all the different scenarios this could play into. What a person driving a black sedan, government issued license plate with 666 at the back of it.
Or would they
and
inhale?
the Guy Fawkes trying to get homeless people to put on a Guy Fawkes mask.
Yep.
And he sounds like
and it's the only thing in the trunk.
The way you describe him.
Yeah.
Is this going to turn into a
maybe it was
story? Like that's what you're thinking when you're talking about the description of what you saw. I mean, wow. And he just disappeared. You couldn't find him.
I couldn't find him. I did wait by the car for a few minutes, so I said I can't do this all day. I had somewhere I had to go, so I ended up walking home. And while I was walking home, I was just replaying the events. I said, "Did this really happen? Did I just really see that?"
Yeah. I think sadly there's so much. When now you have so many, the homeless are prey for serial killers, and I think people that have rich elite death games and stuff like that you hear, but now we have a bunch of illegal immigrants that are in our country as well, and children they say are gone missing. You wonder how many people really go missing. That's what I think about in that story is like, where those guys gone missing if they'd gone along with whatever he was trying to do. I mean, he could have had formaldehyde inside that mask. I don't know. I mean, to knock him out.
That's true.
But I mean, he was there's 2 of them, right? There was 2 homeless people he was talking to.
Right. Yeah, a man and a woman.
Man and a woman? I don't know, man. I don't know. But you know what? Homeless people are they're survivors. They're not stupid. They got out of there.
They knew to get up and go.
Yeah, they don't mess around. They know they're survivors. Yeah. They'll live that life. They'll live the life that they're living. They're survivors. And they're not going to make it easy for them, but they're also potential victims. They're prey for unscrupulous people like that. That's crazy, man. That is some of the weirdest story I've ever heard here in a long time. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, you got any more crazy gym stories? You call stuff you see while you're at the gym.
All right, I might call next week. How's that?
Yeah, I don't have a guest next week, so it's going to be much more like this. Probably open lines, probably short show because I got to go take kids to school the next Sunday. But yeah, I don't have a guest, and I love doing this. I love meeting new people and talking to people. So this is why I do the show. So thank you so much, Jim.
You're welcome.
All right, man.
You have a good night. It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you too.
Take care.
Yeah, bye. Well, that definitely wins the craziest story of the night award for sure. Wow. I might have to. I might clip that story down for its own little video clip. I think just so people can hear it without having to watch the whole show because that was crazy. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that in the chat room? Of a guy trying to lure homeless people in with the mask and stuff like that. I think these things go on. I think the poor homeless people in these are deal with all kinds of crazy people trying to come after them. Sadly, because they're the people that don't get missed. Sadly, wow, that is just some crazy stuff. I don't know how much later I'm going to go. I think I'm going to call the show. I could end the show on that really incredible call from Jim. Thank you. We'll call him Jim Rat Jim. Jim, his name's Jim, right? He's the Gym Rat. Story around for Jimmy. That guy must be really in good shape, too. But thank you guys tonight. I think we made a really interesting show with all the the calls tonight from Missouriana, and good to hear from Captain again, and getting Jim, the Gym Rat, to call in, and and Drake too. I mean, so that's what I love. That's why I do the show. I like hearing from you guys. I like talking about this weird stuff. So maybe next Sunday, another short show, and, we'll just open the lines, and maybe I'll get another good caller, like Zuriana and Jim and Drake and Captain, or those guys call in again, too. I'll hear talk. I'm sure there's more Jim Rat story. Seeing UFOs while working out. Or from him, or Zuriana has got a plethora of stuff. If you called in before, call in again. I don't care. It's all about talking and hanging out on a Sunday night and talking about the weird. But that's it for the show. Thanks to everybody who called in and watched tonight. Keep telling your friends about Paranormal Soup, where the weird happens live every Sunday night. 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to become a YouTube channel member, I will try to do some more stuff for you. I didn't get to do as much this summer as I wanted to for my channel members. Got a couple things we got to do, but not as much. This summer went by way too damn quick. Next Sunday, we'll do our show. Like I said, I only get about 6 hours or so sleep after a show during the school year, but I do it anyways because it's the same bad time, same bad channel. Thank you, Summer. There's a channel member right there. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Heather, there, giving her good UFO stories. If you want to email me stuff, because Heather I'm friends with on Facebook. I've known her. She's been a listener of the show, but not everybody I'm going to accept Facebook friends with. But you want to get a hold of me, you can't, because I don't check Facebook Messenger. Paranormal Soup, jbland@gmail.com. That's Paranormal Soup, the letter J, my last name, Bland, B-L-A-N-D, @gmail.com. Email me. Got suggestions? You got a paranormal story? You don't want to call in. You don't want to be as Jim told a great story tonight about his experience. You don't feel like you could do that, but you can write it out. I'll do my best to try to retell it or butcher it, but I'll do my best. If you want to email it to me and get permission for me to talk about it on the show, we'll do that. Email me your stories before next Sunday. Maybe we do that. I don't know if you're too shy to talk on the show. Otherwise, open lines next Sunday. Have a great night. See you next week.